So this week's parsha is Parshas Naso, and it's a few different mitzvahs are in here, but the 365th mitzvah in the Torah is the mitzvah of Sota. Sota, you'll see in the Chumash, it's on page 754. So you'll see that it says there, starts on the bottom of 752, it says there will be a man who is married and his wife will stray. So the word Sota actually comes from the word stray. And that's one idea. That's the one idea of the word Sota, to stray off the right path. There's another idea in Rashi. Rashi says that the way that the people to do such a thing, it's only because ruach shtus, a foolish, shtus means something foolish. They had a foolish idea came in, and when they'll think about it in the afterthought, it was a foolish thing that they did, but it's only because they had like a wind, like a gush of this foolishness that came into them. So therefore the word could come from shtus, from shota. From shota is someone who's foolish. So that's another idea of this pasuk. As it says that a lady who does such things, she doesn't have the right, she doesn't have a heart. She's missing the heart of things. And therefore that's the two ideas. Either it means she strayed from the right path, or she did something foolish. And it says that a person never does an aveira, and a person doesn't do things wrong unless they have this foolish idea that comes into them. Sometimes people are overtaken by foolishness. It's just like, gets a hold of them. And but if you're able to think things through with a clear mind, then you're able to overcome it. Because it doesn't really make sense. I'm going to go into this on Shavuos night. I just invite all of you. Shavuos night, I'm going to speak about this idea in Esha Torah, right here. In Esha Torah. It will be at 12:40. 12:40, we're going to speak about the whole idea of the psychology, how we learn out, how the Torah deals with such a case, how the Torah wants a person to overcome this. And there's an amazing Gemara that we're going to go into. 12:40 at night, by the way. You got that? 12:45 we might start. 12:45, and we're going to go through the whole idea that how do you fight this evil inclination. But you see, all it is the evil inclination. It's not that it's coming with a proper idea and it makes sense, and afterwards you think that it still adds up. No, it doesn't. After the whole story, you see it's not worth it. So the person who did it is missing the heart, missing the right, missing the right ideas. Okay. So what happens is if there will be a lady who will be yichud in yichud. Yichud means is that there's a mitzvah from the Torah, from the Rabbanan, that the rabbi said you should not be locked in a room or in a house with a lady. That's called, you should never be in private, because it could lead that no one's looking, it's locked, the doors are locked, so it could lead to something improper. So the rabbi said you should never be in a house with a lady when the door's locked, just you and her.
It's not your wife.
It's not your wife. Yeah. Right. It's not your wife. Your wife's allowed. That's the mitzvah called yichud. Now, there's all types of applications. You have to know all the different ways, different types. If someone comes to a cleaning lady, you have to always make sure you do. Let's say you have to keep the door open. If someone could walk in, so then that would break the prohibition. Okay, so that's just the idea. So now let's say this lady did yichud. She was with a man, secluded with a man. So she went against the rabbis. The rabbi said you should not do yichud. So the first thing is, that was a negative for her. That was a minus. But she was secluded, but we did not, so the husband warned her, don't seclude yourself with this man. He gave her a warning. So the rule is that if she secludes herself with the man or any man again, then they take her and they feed her and they give her this waters. The waters are that what they do. Let's read it inside actually. On the bottom of the chinuch, so he says that the husband brings the wife to the Beis Hamikdash, to the temple, and they write out. There's going to be certain words in the Torah that we're going to read in this week's parsha. You could look at it. We're going to look soon or later that the Kohen will tell her, if you have sinned, you should admit it, and then don't make me write out the whole parchment on this whole idea of what I'm going to say. But if she doesn't admit, he writes out this all the verses here, that the warning and everything, and he reads it to her, and then he puts the parchment in the water, and he puts it in and erases the words will obviously become erased into these waters, and then he put a little bit of ashes in there, and then he says to the lady that you should drink this water, and if she drinks it, right, she drinks it then, and if she's guilty of being with another man and living with another man, then she will blow up. She'll blow up, and it will start by her foot, by her thigh, and because that's where she was doing the improper thing, and then it will blow up and it will go into her stomach. And by the way, it's not only her that she will blow up, but also the man that she was with. If she actually committed a sin, he will also blow up wherever he is.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what the Gemara learns out from the way the pasuk is articulated. Okay, now that's what happens when she drinks the water. Now, and he also speaks out, the Chinuch also speaks out this idea that he says that sota means to stray, and the way she strayed was by being a little bit parutz. Parutz means she wasn't so modest. She was improper. She wasn't dressing the right way. Maybe she was trying to allure people. So that started things off. A person has to always be careful how they dress, because it could cause other people to be attracted, and it's only for her husband. So therefore, that's what sota means. She strayed. Right there is the Chinuch says that already is where she's straying. She started straying by not dressing the right way, or not speaking to. She's speaking to the wrong gender. So that started it off.
Is there, Rabbi, something also for a husband that does that against his wife, maybe, or
no? The husband. It doesn't say it here because she's the one actually who strayed, because the husband was innocent in this case. He didn't do anything. So the wife went with someone else. But it's the lady. She's the one who she actually started it off, and she actually, it seems that she would actually start from this chinuch. She was one who was the cause of it, because she maybe didn't dress properly, or she didn't talk to the right people. She's supposed to, right? She should speak to her own gender more. So therefore, since she allured him, that's why she started it off. Okay, now, then the idea is, the first thing is to get to the root of the mitzvah. The root is that everyone should see that we have this is a great praise for our nation, that we have a device to get rid of any suspicion that anyone will have on our wives. That if there's ever such a problem, we have a way to solve the problem, to see if there's any problem. And yeah, because no one else could have such an idea, and therefore when we'll have these waters, these are holy waters, so that's like a miracle. It's a miracle. So it's only because we have a God in our midst, and therefore, when we'll have these waters, this waters increases the peace, because if the man suspects his wife, he'll be able to clarify everything, because if she doesn't blow up, then he knows that she's innocent. And this will increase that they'll be able to have peace in the house. Okay, so that's the beginning here. Now, the only thing is, since it's such a miracle and such a great honor for us to have such a miracle, but this stopped once the Jews started doing a lot of sins. So it stopped. The Gemara in Sota says that once there were a lot of people who were being not proper, they weren't acting right, there were more people weren't going according to the law in all of these areas. So therefore, they stopped these waters. And it doesn't work now. Nowadays, we don't do this. We don't do this nowadays. And it only happens, right, it will only come when we have the Beis Hamikdash. We'll get it back. We'll start it again. Okay, now, so because they're saying, there's a verse that says, Lo efkod es benov sechem, I won't remember and I won't be there with you if in such a case when they will do, and people are doing a lot of sins, it won't work anymore. Now, so the idea is that a person has to tell his wife in front of two people. He has to say, let's say he thinks she was with a man in seclusion. He has to go and bring two witnesses and tell in front of them. He should tell his wife, don't be secluded with that man or with anyone. Yeah, with that man. Now, and that's for anyone. She shouldn't be secluded with any man, any relative, any slave, any man. So now, if she is secluded afterwards in front of, and witnesses see her being secluded, or they see her go into a house and lock the door, so then she becomes forbidden to her husband. From that minute that she goes into seclusion the second time, she automatically becomes forbidden right then.
The second time?
The second time, until she drinks the waters. Now, in a time when we don't have the waters, so then she just has to be taken out from her husband. She gets a get.
So this doesn't matter if she's actually been defiled, let's say. It just matters if she went into seclusion.
Well, the question is if she was defiled. We don't have witnesses that say that she was defiled, so we don't know. We don't know.
So it doesn't matter.
If what? If she really was?
Yeah.
Well, if she admits, then we will, whatever the punishment will be, we will give her the punishment, but she won't drink the waters.
Right. She can admit that what she did.
Right. Right.
Right. But is the admitting that she went into seclusion, or the admitting what she did?
No, the seclusion we know. The seclusion we know because we have these two witnesses who saw.
So it's what they did in seclusion. And
yes.
She admits it.
Right.
And she doesn't have to drink the water. She won't die.
Right. But she will have to get a different punishment. But she'll have to get divorced, or we'll see what exactly happens then. Now, he has to tell her, don't be secluded with that man. He can't tell her, don't talk to that man. That's not enough. It has to be, don't do yichud with that man. Yichud is this new rabbinic mitzvah. Okay. Now, okay, that's basically the beginning of this. Now there are different, goes through different ladies, different cases, but we'll for here, let's stop right here for a second. I want to go into the question of, let's say, the husband gives her the warning. The husband tells her, don't go into seclusion with that man. And she doesn't listen. She doesn't listen, so she goes into seclusion with that man. And then, so the husband brings two witnesses, and they bring her to court, to the Bezdin, to the high court, and he tells her, and he says you should drink the waters. The Kohen comes, and the Kohen brings these waters. So she drinks the waters, and nothing happens. So the verse states over here, we can see it inside, that if she really is innocent, in the page 756, verse Chav Zayin 27. So it says, if she drinks the waters and she was really not pure, so then she will blow up, and she will be a curse among her nation. Everyone will speak about her and say, look what happened to that lady. It should never happen to someone what happened to this lady. And the last verse on the page says, Chav Ches, that if she was not defiled and she was really clean, she's pure, so v'niksa v'nizra zara, then niksa means she will be clean and innocent, v'nizra zara. Now zara means like a seed, so her seed will become, she'll be able to have children. Now the question is, what does that mean? The nix of an Israel Zara? Yes.
No, I was thinking that, okay, she drinks the water and nothing happens to her, but isn't she sinning by the fact that she's secluded with another man?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Even if she drinks it and she does not blow up, but she still has done something wrong. She has done two things wrong. She was seclusion with another man. She went against the rabbi's mitzvah of yichud, and she also now caused them to drink. She caused them to erase all these verses which has God's name in it. God says, I'm happy to let my name be erased for shalom bayis, for peace in the home. From here we learn out how great is the mitzvah of peace in the home, that even God is willing to have the Kohen write all these verses down with God's name on it and put it into the water, and the waters will erase God's name. Really, we don't erase God's name, right? We don't say God's name. But here Hashem says to make peace among the husband and wife, so the husband will be at peace and at ease now. So he says, you could erase my name in the waters. So now, what are the last words of this verse on the bottom? It says, "V'nizra zara." So she'll be clean from the waters. She doesn't blow up. So v'nizra zara. So let me read the Gemara. So the Gemara learns out v'nizra zara that if she was barren, let's say she wasn't able to have children, so she was a barren akara, right? Like all of our the mothers, right? Rebecca and Sarah, they weren't able to have children at first. They were barren. So now she'll be able to have a child. That's the first case here. Now, I got the first thing. So v'nizra zara, the last words on this page, means that she will now, her seed will be able to give forth children. She'll have a reward. She'll have, in a sense, a reward for the fact that she got a little bit shamed. She got her punishment, but now she'll even get a reward that now she'll be able to have children if she wasn't able to bear children until now. That's the first thing that the Gemara learns out. Good so far?
Well, it seems like she's being rewarded for something she did wrong, right? This is all led from her going into seclusion after being warned.
Yes.
So it's sort of odd that she would be rewarded, especially like such a great reward.
Right.
That's right.
Yes, so that's an interesting question as to the reason of this. So your question is actually asked by the Yavitz. The Yavitz, he speaks about this idea. He says the truth is a person really has to make sure that he doesn't bring himself to suspicion. Right? A person shouldn't do anything suspicious. You should never, walk into a McDonald's if someone's around, and order something, because someone might think you're buying non-kosher food, and they might suspect you. So a person should make sure that he keeps himself above suspicion. Right? This is a rule that you shouldn't do things which will render you suspicious. Let's say if a person has to get a drink, but you should try to go into a kosher store to get a drink rather than go into a non-kosher store, because people might see him and they might think he's eating non-kosher food. So the name of this is called Maris Ayin. Maris Ayin means the way the eye sees. You don't want anyone to see you and think that you're doing something bad. So we actually once spoke about this, the whole idea, in a different day, different class, called a whole thing on Maris Ayin and Hilchos Tzitzis. Now, so based on that, now let's go back now. So it's right, and that's what we say in benching. The person, we try to find Seichel Tov. We want to find good grace in the eyes of God and the eyes of man, both of them. Now, so the question here is, so this Sota, she drank. She's drinking here and she didn't blow up. So it means that she was innocent. But the question is, so what's the reward? So the reward we're reading right here is according to Rebbe Akiva. Right, who are we reading here? These are the words of Rebbe Akiva, that she was barren, now she'll get children. Rabbi Shmuel argues on him. Rabbi Shmuel says that he argues on that reward because he says a different idea. He says that it will come out that, let's say you'll have a lady who wasn't able to have children, so she'll have an idea how to get children. She'll seclude herself with this man, and then she'll make sure not to do anything wrong, and then she'll drink it and she'll get children. So it's going to come out that this lady could end up gaining, and she'll do it on purpose. And you might have another lady who's a good, nice lady. She doesn't have any children, but she wouldn't want to do this sin. So she will keep away from it, and she won't end up with children. So it'll come out that a lady will benefit by doing something wrong. So because this Rabbi Shmuel says a different idea, that if she will end up drinking and be innocent, then she won't be such a great reward that she'll be able to have children if she was barren, but rather that if she had difficulty giving birth, let's say she had a lot of labor pains, so then she'll be able to now give birth without labor pains.
Okay, so
a different type of reward. Or if she used to have girls, she'll now be able to have boys. She'll have all types of rights of boys and girls. If she used to have short children, she'll now have tall children. Or if she'll have different types of not so pretty ones, she'll have pretty children. So here the idea is that will be the answer to the question. He says that that's it's not like such a great reward like if she didn't have any children, now she can have children, but there will be an upgrade in the having the children. So that's her reward for drinking the water and becoming pure. But now the question here right now you're asking is, but why should she get a reward for doing something wrong? So on that, this is a question a big question. Why either reward is wrong, right? Either reward, she'll have children, that's a big reward, or a smaller reward. Rabbi Shmuel says the reward is that she'll have easier time having children. She'll have good boys, she'll have tall boys, she'll have the pretty boys. Why? But why does she get a reward?
We have a connection to civil law.
So it seems that the reason is
demands it for there to be action in court, to be actionable in court, there has to be two witnesses.
The Yavitz. So the Yavitz, he answers this. The Yavitz was Rabbi Yaakov Emden. So he says that
is deemed to be
that
acquiescence.
She already got punished. She already got punished on this.
Right? With
on this idea. She caused suspicion. She did go into seclusion. But she got punished for that. What was her punishment? She got a lot of embarrassment, a lot of disgrace. It's not easy. They take her in to the Beis HaMikdash and they uncover her hair. So we learn out from here that the ladies, when they walk outside, they should have their hair covered. That's where the source is. The source is from actually this parsha, that ladies should have their hair covered once they get married. Until they get married, they don't have to. But once they get married, it says the Kohen will take off her head covering. So it's a disgrace, right? I mean, the way it's a disgrace. He's disgracing her, and it's all to get her to admit that she will be off guard. But you see from here, the way of a modest lady is that she walks in the street with her hair covered. So it wasn't she wasn't in a good. She was disheveled. So all this is a bizayon. It was a disgrace for her. So she got punished for the fact that she brought the suspicion on herself. So she brought the suspicion on herself, and the punishment for doing that was all the disgrace of drinking the waters and hearing it, and everyone's looking at her and seeing that she maybe did something of Avera and she did something wrong. So therefore, that's the punishment for that suspicion. But he goes further now.
All right, come now. All right, go ahead. Okay, so Rav says mina. How do I know? Says Rav.
So she got right. So she got this suspicion, and in the end of the day, she didn't really do anything wrong.
That
so he wants to say that's one idea. He wants to say that counteracted the thing that she did wrong. She got because she got punished. So now you want to say based on that, after you take that all into account, the skills are sort of innocent, and now she really didn't do anything wrong. It's sort of like the embarrassment offsets the fact that she puts herself into suspicion,
Shimon says,
so you like discount both of them. And now, it's like you're just bringing her to drink. If she wouldn't have been suspicious, and she drinks and she's innocent, so therefore she gets the reward.
Okay,
that's one idea, he says.
Water,
or
a pool.
Let's see if there's another idea. Is that right here? The first idea?
Yeah, it cancels. She don't cancel that. So
right.
she's just drinking.
Right, right.
Place.
And
this pool was Becheska Shlema. That people had presumed that it was understood that it was shalom and had 40 saw of water, which is the requisite amount in order to go into the mikveh.
Yeah, so that's basically one good way to go. That's the first way.
Many things in life, everybody makes assumptions, and then they actually go.
So based on that, now that we have that down cold, down pat, the question is the Rambam. Let's see how the Rambam rules. When the Rambam brings down this ruling, right? If you look on this page here, on the bottom left-hand corner, you see there's something that's put in the wrong print.
Right.
See that? Yeah, right there. So there the Rambam writes, second, the skinny line, that it says, if she drank it, v'hoisa tahira, she was really pure. Harezu mischazekes. So the lady, she will become stronger. Upaneha mazhiros. Her face will start to shine. V'mhaya b'chayli, if she was sick, yasur, the sickness will leave her. Tue Apr, which means that she seemed to have some type of sickness which prevented her from giving birth. The sickness will be removed from her. Tue Apr, she will become pregnant. V'telei zachar, and she will give birth to a boy. V'mhaya zu.
I always assumed it was, right?
Right. The next words are, I'll read it to you here.
This.
Haya darka, and if her way was Leili Bekoishi, if she used to give birth with extreme difficulty, Teleid b'mehera. Now she'll have a quick birth. She'll go into the hospital, and before you know it, she'll be out with a new baby. That's the next thing. And he says, if her way was that she used to have girls, she'll now have boys. So the Rambam rules that this is what will happen to a lady who was innocent.
He told he was kosher.
Good so far?
Doesn't change.
The question is, who is the Rambam ruling like? Is the Rambam ruling like the first view or the second view? The Rambam seems to put together both, because we had an argument. We had Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva was first. He was one who said that if she was barren, she'll be able to have children.
So it says,
on that, Rabbi Shmuel claimed to him and said, that's not fair. Because here you'll have certain ladies that will do this on purpose. They'll put themselves into seclusion, and they'll get such a reward because they're not able to have children, so they'll try in order to get children. So they will end up benefiting, and you'll have other ladies who will be righteous. They won't want to do this trick, and they'll be barren. So they won't end up with any children.
It has to be both.
Which
be one, not the other.
So, but what if you have a righteous lady who says, I'm not even going to do yichud. I'm not going to put myself in such a position. In order to get God to give me children, that's not working with what God wants me to do. If God wants me to have children, He'll give me children. Everything is with a calculation from God. It's not by chance. It's not that there was a sickness and it just happened to be that she's not having children. There's a reason. So God doesn't want her to do this shtick, this type of thing of going and secluding herself and going and doing yichud. So it's going to come out that this righteous lady, she's going to remain barren for the rest of her life, and the other lady who's going to do this type of idea, she's going to come out and she'll have children. She'll put herself in seclusion and she'll gain. She'll end up gaining. What will she gain? She'll end up that she'll have children because she put herself into seclusion with that person. So she'll end up gaining. So Rabbi Shmuel says that's not fair. Why should that sota, she'll gain and have children because she was really innocent, and another lady who wants to do this type of shtick, she'll another lady who's righteous, she won't want to do such a thing, so she'll remain barren her whole life. So because of this, Rabbi Yishmael says, rather what it means is, there won't be such a big reward that she drinks it, she's innocent, now she'll have children if she was barren. Rather, the reward is a little smaller, that if she had dark-skinned kids, she'll have light-skinned kids, or boys, it will be girls, or if she had difficulty giving birth, she'll have an easier time giving birth.
What if she was barren?
Now, if she was barren, and what?
And she drinks this water.
So that won't help her. Then the water will, she'll remain barren. Right. That's what Rabbi Yishmael rules. Because Rabbi Yishmael didn't like the idea.
It's too big a reward.
Too big. It can't be rewarded because such a big reward would cause ladies to do this type of trick in order to be able to get children.
In collusion with their husbands, even maybe.
And I'm not sure about that, but it will be such a big trick. It will come out that she'll end up having children, and a righteous lady who wouldn't want to do such a trick, she'll trust in God that she should have children when God wants to give her. She'll end up she won't have children. And this lady is a trickster. She'll put herself into seclusion and end up having children. So she'll gain more than the other lady who's righteous. It doesn't make sense. The Torah never works like that. That the one who doesn't have Avera will end up gaining more than the one who who goes on the righteous path. And therefore, it can't be that it will be such a big reward. Rather, the reward is much smaller. That if she had difficulty giving birth, she'll have easy time giving birth. Or if she'll have not so pretty children, she'll now have pretty children. So what are you going to ask me? She'll ask me, yeah, but let's say there's a lady. Tosfos asked the kasha. So there'll be a lady who's also, she's a trickster. She had short children. Or she'll have a hard time giving birth. So you know what she'll do?
Or she'll only have girls and she wants a boy.
Or she only had girls, she wants a boy. So what will she do? She'll go into seclusion twice, get warned, go into Beis Mikdash, drink the waters, and then she'll be able to have boys. Then she'll be able to have tall children, or give birth easily. That's Tosfos' question. So Tosfos says on that's not, Tosfos actually asked this question as a tema. He says this is a wonder. He says the same reasoning could apply to the other idea.
That's a presumption.
So,
you don't know.
yeah.
Maybe he became.
Okay, so because of this, Tosfos answers that. Yeah, but there's levels. He says that there are levels of what a person would do for which reward. And here, she would do it to have children. That's his answer. His answer is to have children. If she's barren, she would do the seclusion and go against the Torah. She's not so righteous. She's in between. But just for the little reward to be able to have easier children and nicer children, that's not worth it for her to go against the rabbi's mitzvah and to cause God's name to be erased. Such a thing is already too much. So therefore, that's how Tosfos answers this idea. That's his beautiful
idea.
idea.
Is that you won't, if you're barren, it won't make you not barren. It would just give you. That's the answer.
Very interesting.
That it won't make you, if you're barren, it won't make you not barren. It will just ease your.
So wait. So according to Rabbi Yishmael says, yeah, barren it won't help because then people will do tricks.
Right.
It helps on a smaller level that they'll have an easier time giving birth or nicer kids.
Smaller level, it's not logical to say that somebody would do it implicitly because the reward isn't worth it for all the.
Right. Exactly. This is the Maharsha. So he says that for that, let's say, getting over the pain of childbirth, a lady won't go into seclusion and go against the rabbis, and their husbands will suspect them that they're doing something wrong. That's too much. It's too much. But if they're barren, then they'll do that to be able to have a child. Then the lady will go to a very far extreme to try to have a child. This is the idea of the Tosfos Harash and the Maharsha. It's a very interesting idea. Now, right? So that's his answer to the question of how Rabbi Yishmael is able to attack Rabbi Akiva. That's what he says back. He argues with him and says that's too much, too big a reward. But there is a reward. And don't ask me, if there's a reward, so someone will do it, because they won't do it to get such a small reward. The gains against the efforts is not worth it. It's not worth it. That's not worth it to go to such gains. And therefore, that's the idea here.
We need a 10th man.
We need one.
And a couple there, some couple people. I understand, but there are a couple there who have chiyuvim and need sick out.
Tell them to come here and daven, and then we'll
Okay.
Oh, wait, sorry, just walked in.
Okay, so just getting back to the Rambam here. Now the Rambam here is a little bit hard to understand now, because let's go back to that line of the Rambam. The Rambam, he was the ruling. He codified everything. So how did he rule? So he's going to rule here. What happens if a lady drinks? Right? He's telling you all the rules. So if a lady drinks and she's innocent, what happens to her? So Rambam's ruling was she's going to get stronger. Which you have to think about. She's going to get stronger. Her face will start to shine. If she had a sickness that she couldn't give birth, then that sickness will be removed. She'll give birth to a male, a boy, and it will be an easy birth. If she used to give birth with difficulty, and if it was for girls, she will give birth to boys. So who is the Rambam ruling like? It seems like the Rambam says that she'll get stronger and her face will start to shine. Now where is that from? That is a big question, because so far we didn't see anything about her face shining. That's an interesting idea that has to be also dealt with. Like where did he get that from? That's something interesting to think about.
So the conversion was never good. So Michael is asking, how can they kind that? He has a chazak. No.
They often say that of women who are just like pregnant. When a woman first becomes pregnant, they suddenly say these are glowing.
Yeah.
They're glowing.
Right. The other one.
I don't know. Interesting. The truth is, the Aruch HaShulchan actually, he speaks about this idea. He says most of the time, that's how it will be.
But everybody agrees. But the question says now, let's say woman, I'm married, so my kid is a Jew.
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll have to look into this idea. Where did the Rambam get it from? But the question is further, but let's ignore that idea. Her face will shine and she'll get stronger. But then the Rambam says more, that if she had a sickness on her, the sickness will be removed and she'll become pregnant. So that seems to be the first view of Rabbi Akiva. But on the other hand, then he says Rabbi Shmuel also. Then he says, and if she used to give birth to girls, she'll give birth to boys. So he's saying both. But the question is, the Rambam he's ruling here. So he should be ruling like one of the two. How's he ruling like both? But I know, that's the question. The problem is, both are right. Both are, but they argue. They had a big argument. Rabbi Shmuel attacked Rabbi Akiva. Right? He attacked him. He said, that's not fair. He said, you're going to have the people who do sins will gain more than the people who didn't do sins.
Well, that's true, but then I didn't really deal with that. But if you think about it, if you're barren, in order to receive any reward, it can't be like, if I'm barren, the reward can't be that I had girls before and boys now.
Right.
Or that I great childbirth and no pain now, because I can't have kids.
It's true.
So in order to have any reward, it has to be that I'm no longer barren.
Yes, but Rabbi Shmuel
said, if I'm not barren, let's say I'm a woman with 2 kids already, becoming not barren can't be my reward. I was never barren.
That's true.
So it has to be
that's
improvement in something.
Both. It's true.
So
But Rabbi Shmuel says that there's no such idea that if a lady was barren, she'll now be able to give birth, because then you will mess up the weights. It will come out that certain ladies will gain. He felt that it's impossible that the Torah.
It's even more unfair, because if you're a barren lady and you go through this ordeal, then you have absolutely no reward.
It's true.
Whereas if you were not a barren lady and you went through the same ordeal, you actually get a very substantial reward.
It's true. It's interesting.
Doubly punished.
You're right. I know. I hear. Hashem will have to pay her back in a different way, because she can't go. Rabbi Shmuel said, according to Rabbi Shmuel, according to Rabbi Akiva, according to Rabbi Shmuel, because Rabbi Shmuel said it can't be, because someone who would want to do a sin would gain, and the Torah never lets that someone who would do something wrong would gain more than someone who doesn't do anything wrong.
So maybe you shouldn't do anything wrong.
So it's interesting. It seems it's a fascinating question. Would the Rambam paskin like both of the people?
Just continue saying it's kosher until the last moment. Albeit, and the truth of the matter is, it's even what? It's a good source, because it's.
So we're gonna have to look and to check up on this. But we're coming out. That's one idea. We're coming out. Also, the Rambam said that her face will shine.
Look, why is it decided?
That's also an interesting idea.
Where'd that come from?
when you bring something to the mizbeach, it's not about the kohen.
And we have another thing that's very interesting. So let's say, it could be you're telling me maybe the Rambam ruled,
it's a problem with the person, but
like the first view that said that if she was barren she'll have children. But the Rambam says more than that. The Rambam says, so the Rambam says also, he puts in that she was sick. That was his way of saying barren. But he says she'll give birth to a boy. So he also throws in she'll also have a boy, which is an interesting question. Which actually the Chumash seems to hint at that because the pasuk there, when the pasuk says it, Onkelos says on the bottom that if she will be innocent, Besadi iduya. It's interesting. We'll have to think about what that means. Oh, Yonis and Ben Azil actually. The Yonis, one of the explanations on this, not this targum, but a different one, says that she'll, that's where it come out. It seems from there was the source that her face will shine and she'll get compassion from her husband and she'll give birth to a male. So all three things. The Rambam seemed to have gone with that explanation there. And he says this is also the idea of the Zohar, although I don't go into the Kabbalah there, but the Zohar does say this idea that
he says more than that. Even if
it will make the baby, the waters, he says that the waters will make the baby beautiful. And without won't have any problem with the baby. It will be a perfect baby.
Still kosher.
That's what the Rambam says. That's what the... Okay, anyway, this is a little bit of an idea to think about for the Shabbos. Maybe next year we'll go into this more. Okay.